And my people told me about 4 weeks ago, I was saying, no, I want to protect the people. I want to protect the women of our country. I want to protect the women. Sir, please don't say that. Why? They said, we think it's very inappropriate for you to say. I said, why? I'm president. I want to protect the women of our country. They said, sir, I just think it's inappropriate for you to say, pay these guys a lot of money. Can you believe it? I said, well, I'm going to do it whether the women like it or not. I'm going to protect them. I'm going to protect them from migrants coming in. I'm going to protect them from foreign countries that want to hit us with missiles and lots of other things. Remember, for 4 years we had no war other than I defeated ISIS, but I defeated ISIS and I felt like Brett Favre. I defeated ISIS in 4 weeks instead of 5 years, which they said it was going to take. Because we have a great military, we just didn't have any leadership at the top. I mean, in the office of the president, or even close to it. So I said, I'm going to defend and I'm going to protect women. I'm not going to let people go up to the suburbs or go into places where they live, whether it's suburbs or cities or farms. We're going to protect our women at the border. We're going to protect our women. And also, we're going to protect our men and our children. We're going to protect everybody.
Hey there, Patriots. This is True Outlaw Patriot coming at you with another one. The video clip that I just showed you and the video that I'm putting together tonight is to basically show anyone who hasn't seen or heard, and also to show people who have seen and heard the comments that Donald Trump made at a rally, okay, about protecting women, protecting the country, protecting men and children, because you heard it yourself what he said. That was the full part of the speech that he made, that now everyone on the left is spinning it around, okay, trying to vilify Trump for wanting to protect women, okay. And what I find disgusting is the response, not so much coming from the ignorant people out there and the mainstream media, okay, because that's expected, but it was set up for them to come out with their ignorance, okay, because Kamala Harris and Tim Walz had something to say about it, as if they truly care about women. Now, I'm going to show you some video clips, okay, so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Also, another thing I want to mention is that, and the reason why I'm doing that is because I want everybody to see exactly what was said and how it was responded to. Another reason, 2 days ago I put out a short, which I told all you guys, because I was just trying to test the waters and see with this new program that I got, how the shorts will come out for videos that I put out. Lo and behold, I got like over 1,000 views on it, which is pretty cool, and it's still being viewed. But what I also got was a few leftists coming on the channel, just leaving disgusting messages. So when you guys, not you guys, my subscribers and or people with a brain that want to know the truth, but for all you leftists that keep believing that Kamala and Tim Walz have you guys' best interests at hand, why don't you watch this video, okay, and then do your own research before you open up your mouths and just spit out moronic regurgitation of lies that's coming from the left. You might learn something, okay. With that being said, also at the end of this video I am going to leave an end screen of the video I put out last night, because just like I predicted, that the video was not pushed out, okay, and it just shows that not only is there voter fraud going on, but the video is also being suppressed, okay. So I'm gonna leave it on the end screen of this video, and I'm gonna leave a link in the description so everyone could go back and check the video out again. If you've seen it once, Play it again. If you haven't seen it, go back and see it. We need to start showing the powers that be that no matter how much you try to hide the fact that there is massive voter fraud going on right now in a lot of the blue states, and as a matter of fact, Trump just won a lawsuit in Pennsylvania because of voter fraud. Okay, that even some of the most prominent people are very surprised that the Supreme Court fast-tracked it. Okay, and he won the case. You need to watch the video and find out what's going on. Okay, no matter how much you try to suppress it, the truth is coming out more and more every day. Okay, and regardless of what the mainstream media is trying to say, that Trump and Kamala are neck and neck, or that Kamala is ahead in a couple of key swing states, that is not the case. Okay, that is not the case. She is losing royally. Okay, but you know what? Like I said, if it's your first time watching the channel, please go back and watch that video in its entirety. If you watched it already, watch it again. I don't care if you put it on mute, let it play. Let's get the algorithm up for that video, because the truth is the truth. At the end of the day, the truth is the truth. If there is voter fraud, it needs to be exposed. It doesn't matter who's doing it, left or right. If it's happening, it needs to be exposed. Plain and simple. This is not a banana republic. This is not a communist country. This is not Russia. This is not China. This is not North Korea. This is America. Plain and simple. So, with all that being said, okay, I'm going to show how this whole statement that Trump made during his rally is now being spun around, so like that people could think that once again that Trump is the big bad boogeyman, okay, or that he hates women, or that he's trying to like control women and their bodies, or whatever the case is. But also it is to expose, like my thumbnail and my title says, that Kamala Harris does not care about women. She cares more about trans men, okay, or trans women, whatever you want to say, okay, and so does Tim Walz, more than they do about women. Let's get to this. Let's check this out. Here we go. Okay, now you heard exactly what Trump said, okay. Now this was supposedly the day right after, or I believe the same day, I have no idea, it was yesterday, Halloween, of Kamala Harris's response at a rally she was doing in Nevada. Okay, now you heard word for word what Trump said. That he wants to protect the women of the country, protect the men, protect the children. He wants to stop people from being victimized by illegal immigrants and stuff like that. He wants to protect America, okay, from foreign threats. But now the whole spin coming from the left starts. Okay, so here we go. Brace yourselves. Listen to exactly what this woman, who wants to be the president of the United States and all she knows how to do is lie to the people and lie to the women. And all you leftist women out there, okay, that cannot look at this and get this through your head, okay, you are doing a major disservice, okay, to other women around the country. But I know that you don't care about that. You just simply don't. Okay? You only care that, you know what, that you are so brainwashed that Trump is bad and this woman's good. And that's all you care about. Okay, but just remember that. For every woman that becomes a victim, for every child that becomes a victim, okay, because this woman and Biden and that whole leftist regime hasn't done anything, you are part of the problem.
And on the issue of freedom, listen, Donald Trump's not done. Did anybody hear what he had to say just yesterday? And I'll tell you, it was outrageous. So he said, on the issue of freedom of choice, reproductive freedom, he said that he will do what he wants because, quote, this is his perspective. He will do it whether the women like it or not.
Okay, now straight up lies. You heard everything Trump said. She came and spun it around, saying that what he was saying was about women's reproductive rights. In other words, abortion. You know, these people are so damn wicked. She has no regard for what he said. You know, if she would have came out and said something to the effect like, you know, I don't like the way Trump worded his statement, but I do agree with him that women need to be protected, children need to be protected. No, she spun it around to say that Trump was referring to that he does not care whether women like it or not. He's going to basically take away their right to have an abortion. Are these people evil or what?
Whether the women like it or not. Can you imagine? And this is not the first time he has told us. He does not believe women should have authority or agency over their own bodies.
When did he ever say that?
This is the same person who said that women should be punished for their choices. And what we know is we know what we are seeing. This is someone who simply does not respect the freedom of women or the intelligence of women to make decisions about their own lives.
You know, she comes on and says that he does not respect the intelligence of women. What in the hell is she doing right now? She needs to spin his words around in order to feed this garbage to other women so that they can believe it. Who is messing with someone's intelligence? Who right now is not respecting the intelligence of women? You have this woman lying to other women, never mind the men. Okay, I can't respect the man in all honesty, and I've said it before, I'll say it again, I'll always say it. I cannot respect the man who is for abortion. To me, a man that is for abortion is a weak man. Plain and simple. Okay, I understand that there are some factors, and I've always been vocal about it, that if a woman gets raped or there's incest or something like that, okay, I don't get into that because you know what? That is something totally separate from the fact of a woman and or a guy just wanting to go out there freely, you know, engaging in sex, getting pregnant, and then their only answer is, oh, we'll just get an abortion and that's it. And it goes on and on and on. I can't respect that. And any man that says that he is for women's rights, that he's for a woman to choose her own body autonomy and stuff like this, in other words, just trying to skirt around the fact that he is for abortions, is a man that wants no responsibility either. Okay, but that's all that's besides the point. What she's doing is totally messing with women's intelligence by spinning Donald Trump's words around. And what makes it even more pathetic, okay, is that whether the women that she's preaching to decided to go and do their own research or not, and seen exactly the same thing that I just showed you guys, and they're still going to believe what Kamala's saying, then you have no freaking intelligence. Okay? And it's either that and or that you're just ignorant and you have more hate inside of you than anything else. Let's finish listening to this.
And we know that what he has planned includes a national abortion ban, restricting access to birth control, putting IVF treatments at risk, and
once again, she's lying. He said it time and time again that he would not support a national abortion ban. That's number one. Number two, he was leading the charge so women could have IVF. Okay? And he's still leading the charge so that women could have access to IVF. So I for the life of me, I cannot understand how people could keep listening to what the left is saying and not do their own research. And if they do, and they see what Trump has said, they still in their mind saying he's lying, he's a liar, he doesn't mean what he's saying. That in itself is mental. But when you have people like her, Tim Walz, Biden, The View, you have all these people on the left, the mainstream media keep regurgitating and feeding the same lies over and over and over again. You're going to have those that really believe it and don't want to know the truth. And then you're going to have the ones that are more dangerous than that. The ones that know the truth and don't care. Okay? And to me, that is more worse than a person that doesn't know the truth and doesn't want to find out the truth. is a person that knows the truth and is still going to lie and go along with an agenda because all they have is hate inside their hearts. Let's continue.
Forcing states to monitor women's pregnancies. You don't have to take my word for it. Google Project 2025.
Here we go with Project 2025.
Read the plans for yourselves.
Once again, something that Trump has denounced and said he wants nothing to do with it, and it's not the first time it was brought up to him. It was brought up to him back in 2016. He denied it then. He's denying it now. He says he wants nothing to do with the Heritage Foundation and Project 2025. Okay? As a matter of fact, if I remember correctly, the Heritage Foundation said that Project 2025 was not made for Trump. It was made for any president that is willing to incorporate those policies into their campaign. Okay? Preferably, they'd like it to be a Republican, but if any president is willing to take on what's in Project 2025, they're willing to back that president up. Okay? Now, that's what I heard. If I'm wrong, somebody leave it in the comments. But that doesn't sound like, if it's true, it doesn't sound like it's something that it's only meant for Donald Trump or that Donald Trump has something to do with it. He keeps denouncing it. They keep saying, no, he's all for it. Nothing but flat out lies. Let's continue.
And I know we all know that one does not have to abandon their faith or reasonably held beliefs to agree that the government should not be telling her what to do with her body.
Really? You heard what she just said, that the government should not be telling her what to do with her body. Keep that in mind. This is going to be very, very critical, people. Keep that in mind, okay? Now, we're going to jump to the next video, okay? And this was from 5 years ago. Here we go. Now, this video was put out 5 years ago when she was trying to be president. Okay, I believe that's what it was at a town hall. Okay, she talks so much that she cares about women. Okay, that the government will not step in. Okay, to tell women what to do with their body. Hold on to that, like I said, because this is not the segment for that. But I'm gonna keep refreshing your memory on that. But instead of her caring for actual women and passing laws for women, no, she is more interested only to pass laws that women, any woman, any young girl could get abortions, because that's what's important. Okay, that's what's important. But yet, 5 years ago at this town hall, okay, this is what she has to say. I'm going to read this down here and you hear the rest. It says, how will you work to ensure that all transgender citizens are protected and treated equally across the country? Listen to this.
Not killing us. How do we get those men to stop killing trans women of color? We are hunted.
I know.
The guy's screaming out, how do you get men from killing trans women of color? Okay, meaning gay black guys that are dressing up as women. Supposedly, some of them were murdered. Okay? So, here she is being confronted on this, and this is her response. Okay?
I know.
Systematically.
I know.
How did we do that?
No, you're right. And so, but I'm just saying, I want you to be able to talk. That's what I'm saying. It's a number of things. I mean, one, there has to be serious consequence and accountability when it happens, which means there needs to be a safe place for the members of our transgender community to go when they have been exposed to that kind of harm. And we know there's not always a safe place. I will tell you, when I was district attorney of San Francisco, it was after the tragedy of Gwenarahu, Matthew Shepard, and other cases where people were being killed. And what was happening in courtrooms is that if the killer was caught and arrested and charged, in the courtroom they would offer a defense. It was called the gay or trans panic defense. You remember that? And they'd say, oh, I freaked out, therefore I didn't have the state of mind for which you can convict me of murder. And I saw this happening. So I convened prosecutors from around the country, first ever time it ever happened, to come to San Francisco, and we created a whole training on how to defeat the gay trans panic defense. And we brought in and this was in the early 2000s, and brought in, I say with pride that there are a lot of the leaders, early leaders in the trans community who came from San Francisco, and so we brought in these leaders to talk about the community, to talk about how the issue is playing out, to talk about the injustices, and it ended up being a model for what needs to happen around also what we do around public safety to make sure.
Okay, I get disgusted listening to this woman, but you heard everything she said, right? This was back in 2020 or 2019. Okay, so you have some dude screaming out, what are you going to do to protect trans women of color? In other words, gay men in the dress. Okay, as if the men can't protect themselves, but it is what it is. So she went, okay, around the country, like she's saying, and had to get all these people together to make sure that all these men had their safe space, they were protected, that nobody can get away from killing one of them and getting out of prison, which I'm not condoning killing, because killing is killing and it's all wrong. But she went and spearheaded this whole agenda to make sure that transgender people, okay, are protected. Okay? But let me show you the next clip so I can answer more to this one. Here we go.
6 Democrats voted against that bill. It would have allowed 1.8 million illegal immigrants into the country a year. A lot of conservatives had a problem with it. These are the 6 Democrats. But more importantly, back to the original premise, Jocelyn Nungari, Rachel Morin, Laken Riley, they are young women who were brutally assaulted and killed by some of the men who were released at the beginning of the administration, well before a negotiated bipartisan bill. Former President Clinton actually referred to Laken Riley Sunday, campaigning for you in Georgia, saying if those men had been properly vetted, Laken Riley probably would not have been killed. So if it wouldn't have happened, this is well before any negotiation. This is well before Donald Trump got involved in the politics. This is a specific policy decision by your administration to release these men into the country. So what I'm saying to you, do you owe those families an apology?
Let me just say, first of all, those are tragic cases. There's no question about that. There is no question about that. And I can't imagine the pain that the families of those victims have experienced for a loss that should not have occurred. So that is true. It is also true that if a border security had actually been passed 9 months ago, it would be 9 months that we would have had more border agents at the border.
Okay, you see? So she went out of her way to coddle men in a dress, go around the country, excuse me, to get people together so they can give these men a safe space so that people could be prosecuted, okay, so that anybody that killed them will not be let out of prison, and rightly so. I agree on that. But yet she is confronted right now about the women that have been killed by illegal immigrants, and all she can say is those are tragic cases. Is she going around the country to rally the troops and get people together to protect the women and children of this country? No. Not at all. In fact, those illegals that came in and committed these crimes were arrested and released. And then they committed more horrible crimes, which ended up in the deaths of these 3 girls. I thought that she was all about protecting, I don't know, women? Why isn't she out there rallying to make sure that there are bills being made or laws being passed to protect women? And why is it that those illegals that committed the crimes the first crimes were let go, and then and only then, after they committed murder, they were picked up. I'm not asking my subscribers. I'm not asking anybody that's watching this video that has a brain inside their head. I'm asking all you lefties that have been coming on my channel talking shit. All she can do is skirt around it and blame this on Trump. Check this out.
More border agents at the border, more support for the folks who are working around the clock trying to hold it all together.
Madam Vice President.
To ensure that no future harm would occur. And this election in 20 days will determine whether we have a president of the United States who actually cares more about fixing a problem, even if it is not to their political advantage in an election. Because there was a solution, Brett.
Click here to
Yeah, there was a solution. And like the Democrats have been saying, that Donald Trump, by some way, was able to sway all of Congress not to, because he wants to be the one to fix the problem at the border. But she is the vice president. She has more power now than she did when she was in California. But she was able to go and protect men in dresses, okay, in the gay community. But when it comes to protecting the women of this country, real women, real children, she has a damn excuse. She's not making laws for them. Not one law is being passed the way she was able to gather, again, the troops in California and around the country and make laws to protect men in dresses. She's done nothing to protect the women coming from other countries that are being raped and killed and sex trafficked, and the women in this country that are being victims by illegal immigrants that are coming in. But yet, Trump comes out and says that he is going to make sure that he's going to put laws in place to protect all the women of this country, the women that are trying to cross the border, okay, and also protect the men and the children of this country. And she goes and spins it around when he comes out and says, because he was told, don't use that verbiage, and he came out and said, I don't care whether they like it or not. That's what I'm going to do. Because this is what the Democrats do. They want to empower women so much, and I believe that women should be empowered, but they're trying to empower women so much that they're making it seem like, you know what? You're strong. If something happens to you, you're going to have to figure it out on your own. But we'll help you if you want an abortion. Can't make this up. I didn't edit this. These are all her words. Okay? Her ideas. She cares more about men, and especially gay men, than she does about women. Okay? And it doesn't end there. Oh, believe me, I've got more. But this time, coming from Tampon Tim, okay? Now remember what I told you in the beginning about her claiming, okay, that the government should not step into telling women what to do with their bodies. Remember what I told you. Remember I said to keep that in mind. Let's continue.
Kamala's a gun owner. We have our entire lives, and we know that we can uphold the Second Amendment while upholding our first responsibility, which is the protection of our children, first and foremost.
Okay, this is going to be quick. Me jumping into this. You heard what he just said. Our first and foremost thing is to protect our children. Really, Tim? You truly believe that? Is to protect the children. Okay. But yet, were you concerned about protecting the children in the schools when you passed a law saying to put tampon dispensers in all the boys' bathrooms? Were you concerned about protecting them from something that maybe they should not be around or be taught at a young age? Something that was forced upon them? And you're going to talk about protecting children? It gets better, people. I'm not done. But yet you hear Kamala Harris saying that government should not step in, into telling women what to do with their bodies. But it's okay for government, Tim Walz, to step in, okay, and push some sick sexualization agenda on young boys in schools. You see where this is? To all you lefties out there that will watch this video, the woman came out and said that no, that government should not step in and tell women what to do with their bodies, but yet government did step in and tell little boys what to accept and what not to accept. And at the same time, making it okay for young girls who think they're boys to go into a boy's bathroom, okay, for what? So not only are you, how can I say, putting young girls in danger, and I have to be very careful with that because it's not like young boys are out there trying to hurt young girls, but I mean, there's always the possibility. See, this is the way you have to think, because it's happened already. As a matter of fact, it happened twice with the same student, of a young boy that the school district, and if you don't believe me, it's an Easter egg, go look it up, went inside of a girl's bathroom because he said that he was a girl and raped a 12-year-old girl. The school kept it quiet, transferred him to another school, and he did it again. So you talk so much about protecting men in dresses. You talk so much about protecting women because they have the right to get an abortion and no government should step in and tell them what to do with their bodies. But yet government is pushing an issue with the Board of Education to put children in danger, okay, and feed into their little minds some sick, sadistic, okay, perverted agenda. And that's supposed to be okay? It gets better. Let's continue.
Now look, it's coming down and I know you get it, but I'm going to talk to just the guys here. I want the guys in the room here to think about, or those who think about the women you love. Whether...
Really? You know, it baffles my mind the way this man is talking. All for an agenda to go after Trump. He's going to tell the men, think about the women you love. Did you think about the men that love their sons and didn't want their sons exposed to your perverted agenda? Did you think about that?
it's daughter, wife, mom, aunt, neighbor, friend, think about them. And when you think about what the next 4 days in this election means, their lives are literally at stake in how this election goes. Donald Trump's the guy who appointed the Supreme Court justices who overturned Roe versus Wade.
Okay, so then who appointed you to make the decision to put tampon dispensers and totally disregard men who care about their sons, mothers who care about their sons? That you just totally disregarded how they would feel. You took it upon yourself to pass that sick law, and yet something that Trump did not do, the Supreme Court took it upon themselves, which they said that it was wrong from the beginning. They've been trying to do it for the longest to overturn it and leave the decision up to the states. You're going to go and spin it around and make it seem like it's as if Donald Trump went and said, get rid of Roe versus Wade, when that's not what he did. Do you see this sick, demonic mentality, people?
Brags about it, and those women you're thinking of right now, they have fewer rights than their mothers and grandmothers had because of Donald Trump. 20 states have Trump abortion bans. Yesterday...
I love the way they keep labeling it Trump's abortion ban. Trump's abortion ban. Okay, fair enough. You want to call it Trump's abortion ban? Fair enough. Let's do it this way. So then we'll call it Kamala and Biden's, I don't know, American border insurrection. Let's label that. Let's label it like that. Or I don't know, let me see. Something along the lines as, because all the poor women and children that have been, raped and or killed, let's call it, I don't know, Biden and Kamala's illegal migrant criminal free-for-all. Let's call it that. Because it was on their watch. They've done nothing to shut the border. Innocent people have been killed and or raped. Trump didn't do that. No more than Trump was able to go and go to the Supreme Court and say, here, do this. But you want to label it like that, like he did. So then we'll label it, that's what it was. And then we'll label you, Mr. WALZ, okay, a pervert. How about that? Because what you did to young boys, okay, is just totally freaking inconceivable to even think. Why would a man who says he cares about women so much, and then he wants to address grown men saying you got to protect the women, what about the boys? No, Kamala rather help out gay guys in a dress, while Tim Walz wants to feminize boys.
And this nightmare continues on with him as he spirals down. Yesterday he told us he is going to put RFK Jr. in charge of women's health. And he told the women here that he would be your protector. And
well, it's not like you can do a good job about it. It's not like Kamala and Biden has done anything about it. They've let the border wide open. Criminals have come in, okay, victimizing their own before they cross the border, victimizing their own and Americans after they cross the border. And you're mad because Trump comes out and says that he wants to protect the women and the children and the men of this country. Nothing to do with abortion, but you guys want to go and spin it around? Once again, you're saying this like you care, but you're lying to them, which means you don't care. Just like Kamala.
And he added, he said, I quote, I'm going to do it whether women like it or not. Which is pretty much what he's done his entire life. Well, now we're seeing it. Women turned away from emergency rooms, miscarriaging in parking lots, whether they like it or not. Survivors of rape being forced to carry those pregnancies to term, whether they like it or not.
Oh, wait a minute, Mr. WALZ. You're saying that women are having abortions in parking lots. Where's the proof? Or miscarriages, I'm sorry, where's the proof? It hasn't been on the news. It's a lie. Okay, and what did he just say right here? Let me rewind this.
Rooms, miscarriaging in parking lots, whether they like it or not. Survivors of rape being forced to carry those pregnancies.
Survivors of rape? You're concerned? Really? Is that how you're going to run this rally? You're concerned about rape? But you're running to be the vice president of the woman that was in charge of the border, and under her watch, women and children have been raped and or murdered. Wow. You can't make this shit up, people.
To term, whether they like it or not. Fertility clinics having turned couples away at the door, whether they like it or not. This is personal for me and my family. We had fertility issues, but we had fertility treatments, and we had our beautiful daughter. And I will be damned if anyone in this country should be denied the right to have their family of their choice.
There you go. Government stepping in. He'll be damned if whatever he just said, that anybody, can have the family of their choice. Meaning what? A gay family, a family with transgender kids? Read between the lines, people. But yet, he overstepped his boundaries as a part of government and forced, I'll say it again, forced upon young boys, okay, girls pretending to be boys, and forcing upon boys something that they have nothing to do with, which is tampons. and you passed a law, you pushed it on boys, you did not care about fathers, you did not care about mothers, you did not care about little boys, and you didn't care about little girls. Okay? As a government official, that's what you did. That's what Kamala did when it came to her pushing her transgender agenda. Okay? You forced it on the masses through government overreach, through government push. You was in government, Kamala was in government. You guys used your power to push something on the masses in this country, the majority of this country, that didn't want it. You ignored them and you pushed your agenda, your demonic, sick, wicked agenda on the people. And because Trump comes out and says that he wants to protect the women, the children, and the men of this country from being harmed, that he's going to do it whether women like it or not, it doesn't matter how he uses words. Because there are going to be some women out there, women that believe in your agenda, women that believe in Kamala's agenda, that you guys know you can get to and spin it around and make it seem as if he's trying to be an abusive man. No, you've been the abusive man. Kamala's been the abusive woman. Okay? You know, I've said it once, I'll say it again. I truly believe, you know, when the Bible says that the battle that we fight is not the battle against flesh and blood, it is a spiritual battle. I truly believe that there are demons among us in a lot of these politicians. I truly believe it. Because no man or woman in their right mind can look at this and say, you know what, no, this is all okay. What Donald Trump is saying is all wrong. And let's just take Donald Trump out the equation. Okay? Let's take him out the equation. Let's use me, for instance. I don't believe in any of the stuff that these people are peddling. I'm against all of it. Okay? But then that makes me the mean one. And that's okay. Because, like I said, no man or woman in their right mind would agree to this unless you are part of the problem, you want to be part of the problem, or you have... it's basically some sort of vicarious fetish that you people have. It is just sickening. It's sickening. Okay? You know, the election is 4 days away, people. Okay? The election is 4 days away. If anything I said, you guys want to go do research, go do research. Okay? I throw out the Easter eggs. You go to, just Google it, see what information pops up, and you see for yourself. Okay? But the election is 4 days away, and let me tell you something. Never mind what Obama did. Never mind what Biden was able to do up until, you know, the coup kicked them out. You need to start thinking, what will it be like in the next 4 years with Kamala Harris and this weirdo in the White House? Think about the school systems. Just think about that alone. The school system will be a mecca, a haven for their agenda. Nobody's child will be safe. I guarantee it. Nobody's child. Okay? As far as building the nuclear family, that'll be on Kamala's part to totally destroy, because that's exactly what they want. They advocate, okay, to give gay men in dresses a safe space, and also advocate to give women abortions. Say goodbye to it. And what kills me, now like I said, I'll say it, I don't care, because it's out there, it's news. Okay? Kamala has no kids of her own. For whatever reason. Who knows, maybe she don't want kids, or whatever the case is. Doesn't necessarily make you a bad person. It really doesn't. But then you have this man that the media has been trying to keep quiet, that supposedly, okay, had an inappropriate relationship with a young boy. And the reason why he didn't retire from school from being a coach, Supposedly he was kicked out, but that's hearsay. That's neither here nor there, I guess. Okay? It's funny how the Democrats just have so much dirty laundry and they keep contradicting themselves. And to them, it's like they don't care. And I said it, that it's definitely something mental. But it's gone beyond mental. It's like demonically mental. Okay? I mean, it is just insane. And this is why everybody needs to go out there and vote against all this crap come Tuesday. Anyway, that's what I got for you. Don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, pass the channel around. And if you can help support the channel, there's a link in my description to my Cash App and my merch store. Again, I don't know if I said it before, but I want to thank all my new subscribers and all my subscribers here on YouTube and on Rumble. I'll be leaving a link to last night's video and leaving it on the end screen, so you guys can go and blast that algorithm for me, please. Give it a thumbs up, watch it, play it, pass it along, which is the video on the voter fraud. That, in my opinion, that basically just, whatever the case is, they're suppressing that information, and it's not right. It's not right for either side of the party to be kept in the dark about voter fraud. Okay, I don't care who you vote for, but everybody should be able to vote. That's just the way I see it. Okay, so if you guys can, please go watch that video. Also, I'll be leaving a link to Loza Alexander's Gifts and Go campaign also. So remember, people, stay vigilant, keep praying for each other, keep praying for the women and the children, pray for this country, pray for your enemies, pray for Donald Trump, and don't forget to get out there and vote. Peace.